Wasn't what we wanted, you know, what we've got to do is we've got to continue to learn from the things that we do out there in the field, go back to work and get better, and make sure that when we get in these situations, and hopefully we don't get in those kind of situations again, but if we do, you know, we just got to come out with a better outcome than what we ended with today.
Questions, guys?
Randy, what do you see as the main problem with defense this average right now?
Guys doing their job.
You rotated a lot of guys in and out. Tosh Herring came in for Trey Bell. How do you think he?
I'll have to look at the film on that, but you know what we'll do is we'll look at the film and decide if there's changes to be made, and that's what we'll do. But we got to get people to do their job.
Last sequence, just take me through what you're thinking on the sidelines as the clock's ticking down.
That he's going to make the field goal. We were in field goal range, and you know we gave ourselves an opportunity. And you know you can sit there and second guess, take a shot, but you know what? We played to the end and gave ourselves an opportunity, and the young man did everything he possibly could, gave it his best shot, and just came up a little bit short.
Randy, when did you decide to use Arkell, it looked like in a different way than he was using in the first two games?
Well, you know, I think, Joe, that, you know, as I've said, you know, in the press conferences that, you know, we evaluate every day. And, you know, as I said, we're learning about guys and what they can do and what they can't do. And, you know, as things unfolded, you know, last week and going into this week, you know, we knew what he could do. We thought we knew what Kevin could do, and now do those things that can accentuate the strengths of those young men. And he did a good job of doing his job and executing his assignments. And some guys made some good blocks. He made good runs. And you know, that's what we're always going to do. Keep moving forward. Is find out how we can get guys who can make plays in the best possible position to make plays, you know, in all three phases.
Talk about the grit of your team, Randy, that just kept coming back, not giving up.
Again, you're supposed to play the game for 60 minutes, but what we did is we put our backs up against the wall early because of some of the things that we didn't do. And between missed tackles, missed assignments, different things that took place, we had no other choice but to fight and come back. And you know, that's something we're always going to play for 60 minutes now. And if you don't, you're not going to play. And there's guys that know if they can't go out and do their job, they're not going to be playing. And because when we did our job, you saw what took place. That's what's frustrating. And that's my job, is to figure that out. How can I get them to play and do their job all the time? That's the frustrating thing about teaching and coaching. And if guys don't do that, then you got to find other guys who can. And that's what we're going to just continue to do, if that's what it takes. And they know that. Because, you know, in the second half, there was times where we needed stops. And we got them. You know, and put ourselves in a position to at least tie the game and force overtime at the end of the game from where we were.
Ready? Is there any early read on Hergy's injury? And also, can you talk a little about Donaldson? Today's emergence as success of the season?
I think it looks like a high ankle sprain for Hergy. I think Jordan, I know he got concussed, and I'll know more, but it doesn't look good for Ryan Crozier with the knee. He went out. But Mason Donaldson, Jeff, is a guy, and when I say this, I'm not in any way saying anything about anybody else. What I'm saying is I'm talking about Mason Donaldson. But Mason Donaldson is a guy who listens and he understands what's being said and understands that, you know, he worked to get his opportunity. And he was a guy that, as I continue to see and practice and see him do things, he, you know, here's where he came from so far this year. He came from really being a guy that you didn't think was going to play much, really, in any phase, who went and we put him in because we saw what he was doing and how hard he was working and everything else. We put him on kickoff return. And he aced that. Well, by doing what he did on kickoff return early on, we incorporated him into even more special teams because of doing his job and getting his job done. Well, then we went, after the first two games, we went to where this week he was going to alternate with Hergy in there because of the work that he was doing and the productivity that he was showing. So when Hergy went down, it didn't surprise me that he went in and performed the way he did, because that's what I've been seeing in practice, and that's what I've been seeing of him in games. And he's a great example to the other members of his teams, and to guys that haven't gotten that opportunity yet. And if they want that opportunity, all they got to do is look at that guy and how he earned that opportunity. And then when he earned that opportunity, he took advantage of it. And so, like I said, it doesn't surprise me that he performed the way he did. And I think any coach in America in any sport can tell you, when they see those guys, it's not surprising.
It's a little bit apples and oranges, but this team had a tough loss early last season against Navy, kind of snowballed. How do you kind of get things back on track quick or get them focused or whatever?
I only know one way, Neil. That's to go back to work on Tuesday and get back after it. You know, and understand that, you know, if you have pride and you're a real true teammate, you're going to find a way, and you're going to watch this film and you're going to say, man, if I would have just made this block, if I would have just did this or whatever, and you're going to find a way to get yourself better. If it's important enough for you, and if it's important enough for you to make sure your team can win, there shouldn't be any problem. You know what? I would expect this team to come back and be chomping at the bit and on fire on Tuesday when we practice. That's what I would expect. And I'll be darn disappointed if I don't see that. Because again, you know, when you get it down to the end and give yourself an opportunity to tie to go in and win it, you know, shoot, I gotta look at myself first, say, what can I do better? And then what can I do to help this team get better? So I'll be very disappointed if there is any problems at all. I really will.
Randy, I know this doesn't apply here because your team is in the locker room until right before kickoff, but if you were the head coach of a team and some players chose to kneel during the national anthem, would you have a problem with that?
This is a free country. And people, I think, can express their beliefs how they choose. And I can't influence people and what they think. I know what I think and what I believe in, okay? But everybody is their own person. And everybody has to understand that if they make choices and they make decisions, then they have to live with those, you know, decisions. And it's what you want to stand for as an individual, and that's what our Constitution, and that's what, you know, this country is all about.
Thanks.
Any other questions, folks?